Hey guys, it's Amy at Zoe Beck, and I'm going to do part one of my November book haul. I really thought, because it was NaNoWriMo and I was doing all the vlogging, and that I wouldn't buy a lot of books, but I lied, and it just, I do think it is a syndrome of being on BookTube. I see so many more books that I want that I might not have known about if I was just doing my normal book shopping and online stuff, and I see people talk about certain books and I want to read them. So my first section I'm going to do, my part one, is mostly going to be kind of stuff that I've gotten most of it because I saw it on BookTube. Some of them not, some of them it's because I was doing nonfiction November. So there's 5 nonfiction selections that I have here. I am going to show one that I bought last year that kind of relates to another one that I bought. So I don't know, I bought it because they talk about the same thing but differently. So anyway, I'll explain that in a minute. Then I bought 2 literary fictions that I've heard a lot about from some of the booktubers I watch, and then I bought 2 more Victorian literature novels that I picked up after people's wrap-ups that I was like, oh, I want to try that one. So my Victober reads for next year are huge. Hopefully I'll read some of them before next October, because I bought quite a bit of that last month as well. So we'll just get into it. So I'll just do the literary fiction ones first, because they're just ones I picked up because people were talking on them. The first one was April from Getting Hygge with It, said that this was excellent. The Kitchen House by Katherine Grissom. I'd never heard of this until she started talking about it, and it's not something I would normally pick up. It's just she was raving about it so much that it intrigued me on it, and then I read the back and read some reviews, and I thought, okay, well, I'm gonna give it a shot. So I decided to get this. This is historical fiction about a girl who, I think her parents, she was orphaned on their way from Ireland to America, and so she ends up being pretty much bought to work in this house, I guess. So she works in the kitchen along slaves in Virginia. I'm not sure. It says turn of the 19th century, so say early 1800s. So anyway, and again, it has to do with her and also the Belle, who is I guess the offspring of the landowner or whatever, or the house owner. And so black and white, and they're both kind of enslaved positions in this century. So I don't know, it sounded really interesting. I just thought I would give that a shot. The other one is one that I really put off buying. I kept seeing it. First I saw it on all the British YouTubers, all the them raving about it, and then I saw it again on James Chapman's one, and that was Tinman by Sarah Winman. And so I finally I just bought it, because I was tired of everybody talking about something that I wanted to read, and I just wanted to get it. So I did. It was one of the days it looked like it was on sale at Book Depository, so I just bought it and got it. So I don't know much. I mean, except that I know everybody's talked about it, but again, to me it sounds like it's a story about 2 men and who grew up together, and then a woman that they meet later, and how relationship wise, and it says about it's like a love letter to human kindness and friendship, loss and loving. So I'm figuring this is going to be kind of a hard read by the end, even though it's short, but I'm hoping for the impact that everybody else seems to be having with this, and because I think this is one of the nominated books for the Costa, I think. So anyway, I thought it was kind of interesting. I finally made myself buy it because everybody was talking about it, so I admit it, I broke down. And then I'll do the 2 Victober reads that I got. So I picked up another Elizabeth Gaskell. This is Sylvias Lovers. I probably should not have bought this because I have already 3 other of her books, and I tried to read her short story collection, Gothic Tales, and it was really hard for me. I have not finished that book, and I'm still gonna try to work on it, but short stories and me don't work. But I do have North and South and Wives and Daughters that I got a couple months ago to try, but for some reason, this one really sounded interesting to me because it has to do with, you know, a woman who's caught between two men kind of thing. And for this time period, it just sounded kind of interesting. I wanted to see what happened. And I think it was Kate Howe was talking about this on her channel and several of the other ones as well. And I think I bought it, but I kind of, like, I probably should have waited until I read one of her other books. So, I don't know. That might not have been the best buy for me. But the other one I picked up that I really want to read is East Lynn by Ellen Wood. And I believe I saw this on Beyond the Pages, Ange's channel. And I bought this because it was like, you know, one of those sensation novels, but it was not Wilkie Collins, which I've already tried and I really like him and I want to read more of his books. But they were saying, she was saying that this was really good and, you know, intriguing and stuff. And I don't know a whole lot about it after that. I just knew it had to do with, you know, there's murder, adultery, and disguise. I have no idea. I just, as I said, I heard it was like kind of the sensation novel, which again, I said The Woman in White by Wilkie Collins was like that. So I really wanted to try another author that did that. So we're going to try that. Anyway, oh, I'm going to sneeze. Oh, sorry about that. Okay, so then so when I went to Pals with my dad, I also went to Pals a couple weeks earlier for my book club. So I bought a lot of nonfiction when I did that. So these are kind of my used or books that were remand or the ones that they're trying to get rid of so they're cheaper. So most of these are that, but there's a couple used in here. So I first picked up One of Us, the story of a massacre in Norway and its aftermath. And I have no idea how to say that person's last name, and I apologize. No idea. And yes, I'm Norwegian, but that doesn't mean I know how to speak it. So anyway, but I did want to read up on that. And I heard that this book was good on the 2011 massacre that happened in Norway. And again, because it was such a huge event for them, I want to read and find out how, you know, it did go down and and again, the aftermath is the biggest part of that. So I'm looking forward to this. I did not get to pick this up for Nonfiction November because by the time I bought it, it was like I looked at it and went, it's kind of big. So I do want to plan to read this sometime this next year before November. So if not, it'll be next November. But I'm hoping to pick it up between now and then because as I said, I'm going to try to insert more nonfiction into my reading since now I've bought some. Another one I got, and this was totally on a whim when I was looking for that one, and I picked up The Monster of Florence by Douglas Preston and Mario Spizzi. I don't know how do you say that name. I don't know. Anyway, again, I've read several of Douglas Preston's other novels. I do want to actually read his other nonfiction book, The Lost City of Monkey or something like that. I don't know. Whatever that one is, I'm going to get that pretty soon to read. But I saw this at Pals, and it was, you know, it was on sale because it's a used copy. But I'd never read this one. So he goes, I guess Douglas Preston went to Italy, and he found out about that where he was staying, or really close to where he was staying, there'd been a murder. A horrific double murder. And so he kind of investigates it to find out what happened and stuff. So it just sounded really interesting, like a serial killer. Anyway. But anyway, so that's another one. I don't know. We'll see how that goes. And then I got one. I'm trying to think whose channel I saw this on. Oh, I don't remember because I didn't write this one down, and I'm trying to be better about that. This one I don't know. I know I saw some people reading it for Nonfiction November, but I didn't see their wrap-ups yet. So I bought this when I was with my dad, and both of us went, well, we want to read that. So we're going to read it. So it's Liar, Temptress, Soldier, Spy. 4 Women Undercover in the Civil War by Karen Abbott. Now, we just, as I said, we have read a lot of Civil War books, so my dad and I both were intrigued about this because this is kind of cool. It sounds about 4 women during the war. And as I said, I can't remember whose channel, and I'm sorry about that, but I was intrigued about it, and then I saw it there on sale, so I was like, we're getting that. So this is a book that I have to read. I probably should read in the next couple months because my dad wants to borrow it because we bought it together kind of thing. So I need to read this. And then I picked up this one. Now this was like a completely on the whim one. It's called The Ghost Map: The Story of London's Most Terrifying Epidemic and How It Changed Science, Cities, and the Modern World. So I had never seen this one before, by Stephen Johnson, sorry. So it has to do with a cholera epidemic in London in 1854. And I just thought it was very interesting that they're talking about that, that a physician and a curate are spurred into action, working to solve the most pressing medical riddle of their time. Anyway, and again, as I said, it's talking about their, dealing with how it spreads and everything. And it just looked kind of interesting, and I said it wasn't very much. So I took a chance on it. So if you've read this, let me know if you've heard of it. I don't know. I didn't even have time to like check Goodreads or anything because my dad we were getting ready to leave when I found it, so I just picked it up. I don't know. So, okay, and then the last book I got was one I picked up literally right before that one, like right before we were walking out the door. And it's called Off the Map: Feral Places and What They Tell Us About the World. It also says Lost Places, Lost Spaces, Invisible Cities, Forgotten Islands. This is by Alistair Bonnet. Now, again, I was attracted to the off the map part because I have a book called On the Map by Simon Garfield that I bought last year. And this one's a expanding exploration of the way the world looks. And it talks about how some people think that because we made maps and figured out where things were, that's how we evolved to be, smart, I guess, or something. Anyway, but it talks about, how hard it was to actually map like certain areas like Africa and Antarctica and stuff. And that, it goes through talking about all the stuff. And it has like a lot of pictures and things in it. So I bought that last year on a whim because it was, cheap on used books at Pals. So this one is kind of talking about like forgotten places. So it's talking about things that, people have forgotten about that were there or maybe aren't there anymore or they've changed. So I don't know. It just sounded very fascinating. Again, I have this thing with maps, and I didn't really realize that until, I have another book coming that'll explain that, but it's not here yet, so I can't haul it. But I realized after I bought this one and I bought the other book that I remembered that I had this, that I do find it fascinating what gets on maps and what doesn't. And it was one of those things where I bought an atlas just for the fun of it when I was younger. It was just kind of like, and I loved poring over the maps my dad had in National Geographics that he used to get. And it was always fun. To kind of go through to see them, and so I thought those are kind of weird. I'm not sure if maybe I should read those books back to back or I should space them out. I don't know. What do you guys think? I kind of don't know. I kind of want to read these map ones now that I got two of them that are kind of the same. They're not the same thing, but they're lightly related. I don't know. So, but anyway, that's part one of my November book haul. Yeah, I think it was 9 books that I bought, and then again the 10th was the one I showed. So, and my other one is, I think is 8 books and a little toy. So we'll, I did not do very good this year on November for books. It's just a little too much. Anyway, so, which is why my shirt says, never enough books. Anyway, I hope you guys are having a great day, and I will talk to you guys later. Bye.